I realised very quick, boxing's a business.
You've had to overcome some.
Next door neighbour's house was getting burgled. I chased him, caught up with him, and then on the blind side, a slab come over my head. A month out from a world title fight.
Anthony Crolla has always been like literally the nicest guy.
Like I went from being this top prospect in Manchester to losing early on to someone who never should have.
What are you more scared of, winning or losing?
Walking in front of thousands, cheering your name. I knew once that day was done, those highs aren't going to come back.
I'm here with, this is my good friend, man. I'm so happy. When we signed up to do this podcast, I firstly said, I want people that I know, people that I respect. Me and this gentleman here go way back. And when I think of Anthony Crolla, I think of Hot Woodall. I think that's where I first met him many years ago.
Yeah, wow, time flies, doesn't it?
And my brother, I'm just proud of you, man. I see when I hear people talk about you, like you are one of those people in Manchester whose name, not just amongst the boxing community, not just amongst the United community, but City fans. You're one of the only people that I know where City fans love still. And I'm just proud of what you've achieved, but I'm just proud of who you are. And one thing that I think is the greatest thing about you, Crolla, since I've known you from way back in the day, is there's certain things that I like people that I see myself in, bro. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I like people that when I see them, they carry the same principles and morals as me. And one of the greatest things that people have ever said to me is that I'm the same person on camera that I am off camera. Doesn't matter about the followings and what's going on the socials. Javeno is that person. Anthony Crolla has always been like literally the nicest guy. From when I was in college, this man ended up winning world championships. He was one of the greatest boxers that's ever come out of Manchester, one of the most loved Manchester boxers. But take away all his titles, take away all his accolades. Ant Crolla from North Manchester, where I'm from, you're just a splendid person, bro, and I appreciate you.
No, that honestly, mate, it means a lot. Genuinely mean that. It means a lot, obviously. We're going back sort of to Hot with All Kids, and I genuinely mean it when I say I see the success that you're having and how you're helping people. And you just said that then, and obviously the accolades mean an awful lot. What you achieve, you set out on a dream, you have a goal to go out there and become a world champion and have those crazy nights and stuff in Manchester and America. But I think you can't let that define you, can you? Do you know what I mean? No. You can't let just your job define you. You've got to try your best to be a good person, haven't you?
Of course you have.
You've got to try your best to be a good person.
And that's what lives forever.
I always say, I think you've got to treat everyone the same. It's not me preaching here or anything like that, but I think you've got to have that same attitude to someone. What was it? Muhammad Ali. Like you got to treat the waiter, the waitress the same respect as you treat the CEO.
100%.
Something along those lines of, and I think that's it. I think, like you say, being from North Manchester, and it certainly has its troubles, its well documented troubles. I'm sure we're going to get onto it anyway, but it was, I think, no matter what, like that, having that working class background, it sort of keeps you humble. Keeps you humble.
You to me, you're excellent, bro. You're excellence every day. With my work, I try and just show excellence, expose excellence in people, in myself. So to me, excellence isn't defined by size of your bicep. It's not defined by how many abs you've got. It's not defined by how many titles you've got. To me, excellence is when people are facing the impossible, but still saying, I'm going to give it 100%.
Yeah.
So when I'm training people every single day of my life that with some of the worst disabilities, bro, known to man, that I've got so many issues, but yet they go, you know what, Jay, I'm going to give it 100%. And I think when I look at your boxing career and your life in general, because this is the thing, because you're a friend of mine, bro, and I've always followed what you're doing. You've had to overcome some shit.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest?
The biggest, do you know, the biggest, right? People would think there was like a well-documented incident, wasn't there, where the neighbours, next door neighbour's house was getting burgled. They chased them, caught up with them, and then on the blind side, a slab come over my head. Obviously, the injuries, fractured skull, broken ankle in a few places, like a month out from a world title fight. Everyone had presumed that'd be the hardest, and there was bits of that was, but early in my career, like I didn't have your typical career where I sailed, into sort of world title class. I had speed bumps and losses early on where people wrote you off, and I saw people's attitude change towards me. Like I went from being this top prospect in Manchester, someone who's eventually going to carry on, like Ricky Hatton's throne, to losing early on to someone who never should have. And there you see people's attitude change towards you. But I realised very quick, boxing's a business. It's honestly, like, I think sport's the most amazing thing. I know, like you do, like you say, with how it changes lives, how it gives young people confidence, how it takes people away from, possibly going down the wrong road and just giving them a better life, like a healthier life. But professional, that's a business, and it's one of them where the highs are so high, but the lows, mate, they're through the floor. And obviously, during that time where if I'm losing a fight or two to people who not expected to, people then change the attitude. This isn't that guy. This is just another one. And so to still stay focused and to still believe and not give up, that was probably the biggest battle, because you start questioning yourself. You start questioning yourself, thinking, am I as good as I think I am? And in my head, I genuinely mean it. I never stop believing. Never stop believing, mate. But at times when I look back now, I think I must have been mad. I must have had a screw loose too. When I look back at certain points in my career, like there was times, like you say, when, and it's not me crying poverty, because my mum and dad was like, they've always been unbelievable and supported me the best way they can. But I remember like sharing a bunk bed with my little brother, and I was too old, you know what I mean? But I couldn't afford anything else. I was just so locked in on training, thinking one day I'll get there. One day I'll get there. And thankfully it paid off. But yeah, that was the toughest thing. Like people who was close, or people, around you, whose attitude just changed towards you because it looked unlikely. Do you know, like you was going to get...
I've seen it happen with so many people. Like a few Manchester boxers that I know, I've seen people flock around him like the God's gift.
Yeah.
As soon as they lose, everyone's gone.
They disappear.
So my question for you, Ant, is what I struggle with, right, is, and this is what I don't really tell people this, but I'm going to say for the first, because I don't tell people that I struggle, because I rarely do, but one thing I've always struggled with is the amount of work you have to put in that nobody sees. I'm talking, so people look at me now sometimes and go, yeah, I'm successful. They look at Ant and go, world champion. Do you know how many hours of loneliness I've had to go through? Do you know how many sessions of crying and just questioning and creating and just
I get this.
Digging so deep into you. So even when I was a cricket player, I could win a match and get man of the match, but no one sees me when I'm before uni. I'm doing 2 hill sprints, then training at lunchtime at uni, then finish uni, and I'm training again. Nobody sees when I've got a migraine, but I go, I've still got to lift, I've still got to do my sprints, I've still got to go to the physio. Nobody sees that. And then you put so much in, and just like that, people either disrespect it or you get a little from it. But when you win or do something great, people go, yeah. But I sometimes feel a bit disrespecting, like, you're cheering me now, but cheer me when I lose.
Yeah, when I need it.
Cheer me when I need it. Because when I'm winning, if I do something amazing now, or create something that goes viral or amazing and people love it, best believe that's many, many hours of me creating. It's not just a... Do you know what I mean? And I think with with your sport, how do you keep moving? So with that there, I'm thinking, people love talking about Anthony Crolla, inspirational for what you've been through and what you do. But so in them cold days in the gym, who's going to inspire you?
Do you know what? I think I was always very self-motivated, but I think probably a big thing was when my little boy come along, that was a big source of motivation.
Yeah, same.
That was a big source of motivation. It made me grow up a lot. And now, and I look back, you know, on certain things, I've got to remind myself, like, I can't regret them. I mean, listen, there's always things you wish you didn't, or you regret, as in things you didn't miss regarding the sport. But it was like I missed quite a bit of my lad growing up, even though I was at home every night. So I've got to be thankful. But I miss certain things because the sacrifices you have to make, and people don't see that. Like when I remember, you know, didn't go on family holidays because I was in camp or I was in, and it's hard, you know, you see. And listen, there's much more people worse off in the world who they can't go on a family holiday. Some people can never get away. And I think that's how you've got to think. But it is still, you still miss a lot of, you know, a lot of nice sort of times, sort of with families, whether it be parties, whether it just be socialising with your mates. And that's it, where you just mentioned it, and they don't realise the away from the camera, the dark nights, where you feel like death, or your weight's coming down, and the last thing you want to do in the world is then go doing your sprints, going doing your track work, up at 5 o'clock in the morning, going to the pool, and you're just thinking it's brutal. Do you know what I mean? Like it sounds mad as a business. I could never say to someone, get involved in professional boxing. Get involved in professional. I'd recommend to almost every kid, do a little bit of amateur boxing. You know, just for that confidence, because in boxing gyms, if I'm drifting topics here, I'm sorry, but like in boxing gyms, I've never seen bullying. And there's always a well-known saying is, it's like you'll have people of all different races, religions, different backgrounds, and they're all working alongside each other. They're all pushing each other on. And so I said, if the world was like boxing gyms, the world would be a much better place. You know, we joke in our gym. I go, it's like the United Nations. You've got white kids, you've got black kids, you've got kids coming from up the road, like different religions. You've got Catholics, Muslims, whichever it is, and no one talks about it. Everyone just alongside each other, training. But that's what I always encourage. But like, as the business side, that's what I think, you know, what you go through, I think I'd much rather my son go and do something else, play a different sport. Absolutely, but it is like keeping that focused. I'm not trying to big myself up here, but not many people can do it. Not many people can do it, and I get why. When you were
speaking then, I was getting a little bit emotional. I didn't expect it, because there's something that I've been thinking for a long time. See if you understand what I mean here. So with success comes sacrifice. Yeah. This is for Nick as well, because Nick's a very successful musician. With success comes sacrifice, but the main thing that I struggle with is, with success comes people questioning who you are and your love. So how many conversations I'm about to have with people that say, I love my work more than family time, and I'm like, no, I'm doing this for my family. The sacrifices that I'm making, that you're making, is for not just your missus and your kids, it's your family. But people don't see that. And the main thing with me is not just, I can sacrifice every day. I've been doing it all my life. I train, and sacrificing certain things, I can get that. The thing that breaks my heart is when somebody questions whether, but you're spending a bit too much time away from your family. But I'm like, no, it's the sacrifice that I'm willing to make in order to give you something
to make their life that little bit better, a little bit easier, maybe to give, I don't know if it's a right attitude, but maybe give my little lad what I didn't have growing
110%.
up. Do you know what I mean? That's what you think. Whether that's always the right thing or not, maybe not, but it is to people don't understand, you know, you're spending a bit too much time away from the family. But that's, do you know what I always say as well? See what you think. You have a small window, and then I saw it's important. And if your partner can understand that, you've got to be working together, haven't you? You've got to be working together. And if you get that, because if not, it's very hard. It's very hard. I've seen people who I think all the talent in the world, opportunities, and they're not prepared to make those sacrifices. They're not prepared to make those sacrifices.
What's your mindset, right, as we got into, because I said, I was saying to the before, I only really fuck with people that I see myself in, even though we're from two different worlds. And I owe a lot of my success to I've been an underdog for so long.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is I came into my world, right? So after I finished playing cricket and I came into what I'm doing now, I could have had 1 million followers years ago.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking my top off. I'm not trying to sell sex.
No,
You're never going to see me with my top off.
It's authentic with you, yeah.
Trying to show people real humanity.
Yeah.
So when I started, start making these videos, booty videos for the girls, take off your top and do this. And I said, that's not me. So I was the underdog straight away. I'm in a world where everyone's doing all the PTs are doing the typical PT crap. I said, that's not me. I'm never going to do that. So what I had to do was then go, okay, I've got a message that I want the world to hear. I'm going to make sure that I'm so good and I'm so on it with my work and my message. I'm never going to stop telling people my message until it gets out. I'm going to be so loud and powerful that you're going to have to be forced to listen to me, take me serious. And then if you do that, I guarantee I can kind of change the world a little bit. Because how can you not love real humans overcoming real adversity? Yeah. Not like
it's the authenticity of it all.
Trust me, bro. And even like the way I see it, Ant, is you winning a world title, Usain Bolt winning 100 meters in the Olympics and breaking a world record, Tyson Fury becoming the undisputed champion. My guys, Jenny, who's had a stroke, who's been trying 6 months to move her arm, and she finally moves it after. Moves it 2 inches. That to me, I will celebrate that 2-inch move just as much as I will celebrate winning the world title.
Yeah, that is their world title. Yeah.
So how do you? And you've always been an underdog. I remember even when you fought. Is it George?
There's Linares, there was Perth, there was Barroso. There was in a lot of fights. And
does that mess with your head before you go in?
No, in my head I used it the other way. It was sort of just that added motivation. It was that added motivation, but also. It was I used to think, well, no, the pressure's on them. Do you know what I mean? If I'm not expecting this, but I had my own expectations. Don't get me wrong. I'd put that pressure on myself to perform, but I didn't mind that because I used to sort of just think, I'll take it with it. I'll run with that underdog tag because it'll be all the sweeter when I do. That was the attitude when I prove you's wrong. A little bit sometimes I get my back up. I like get my back up, but as I got older, I used to think, you can't take it personal. I always say everyone's entitled to their opinion, aren't they? Whether it's right or wrong, uneducated or not. Like sometimes you have people online, I've got mates who do it, who are boxers. What do they know? They've never been in the ring. No, stop. Do we have an opinion on football? Yeah. The derby was on just the other day, and we're going.
Well, good for you, let's not talk about that.
Right. And I'm thinking, and I'll have an opinion on some pro football, and it's like, really, that's just the same. So I think everyone's entitled, to that opinion. 100%. But
I've got a weird question for you.
Go on.
Somebody asked me this a while ago, right? When I lived in India, I played cricket in India for 6 months, right? And somebody asked me something, and I never forget this question. And it's one of them questions when it asked me, I went, what are you more scared of? Winning or losing? And when he asked me that, you know what I said? I was thinking about it and I went, I'm more scared of winning because I knew that sounds mad, and what we're explaining is that, when I lose, I'm not asked about losing. I'm not bothered, but when you win, sometimes you might have a fight and win, but it wasn't your best night.
Yeah.
But you won and people are going, and you did great, and you're going, I didn't.
Yeah.
I should have done this. I should have done that. And people say, hey, you did great. I don't like that fake pat on the back, that fake admiration. So I'm scared of winning if I don't deserve it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Would it be like performing though? You were scared of not performing?
No, because if it's on performance, if I lost, all the times that we lost matches or we did things.
Yeah.
Even when I was powerlifting, I don't care if I give it arm and I give it my best.
Yeah, you can live with that, I
can live with that. There's times where
No, I get that.
I ended up doing powerlifting after I finished. I ended up competing for Great Britain in the European Championships of Great Britain. I won a gold medal in the deadlift.
Yeah.
And it was the worst I've ever deadlifted. But I came home with a gold medal.
Yeah.
I hated it. I was mad at myself.
You was annoyed with your performance.
Yeah, and then a couple months later, I came second at a different competition but with a much better performance, and I was more pleased with that one.
Yeah. But I think there's a lot to take from that sort of like, so that probably say a lot about you, where with the accolades, it was more about you fulfilling potential. And I imagine with the people you work with, the battles they're going through, if you can get them to fulfill that potential. I always say it now. So now a coach, don't I? And I'll say, not everyone I coach is going to be a world champion. Not everyone I coach is going to be a British champion, English champion. But if I think I can fulfill their potential and do it, then I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
However, if I don't fulfill their potential for whatever reason, then I'm not satisfied. Whereas I could be satisfied with someone whose limit is an English title, them getting that. Whereas if I think someone's limit is a world title and they only win a British or European, which is still a nice thing to do, I'll be more happier with the person who I think have fulfilled their potential. Do you know
what's the two worlds? Them two. So the world of you being pro athlete, now coach. Now is that transition for you?
Do you know what? It's gone well because coaching was always something I'd done. Even when I was professional, I was still helping out at my amateur club. But the plan was never to be coaching professional athletes. My plan was to help out with the amateurs a bit, with the kids, and I probably enjoy that even more, if I'm being honest. But I stumbled across, and now I've got a stable of professional fighters and helping. I do enjoy it now. It was never the plan, but sometimes you can go off plan. And that's it. But it was always, do you know what happens with boxing? And I imagine this is any sport. I always believe like you're chasing highs in your professional boxing. And I realized very quickly, I knew when my time was over because I'd seen people close to me. I always say the saying that boxing took a lot more from them than they took from boxing. And you can't put a price or anything on health, can you?
No,
and there's people who I grew up with, and now the speech is very slurred. The balance is a bit all over. And I think, was it worth it? Was that worth it for that extra payday or stuff like that? And do you know what I mean? And I just think you've got to, I realize, like you say, you're chasing those highs. And I knew walking in front of thousands, cheering your name, winning a world title, defending a world title, or challenging, whichever it is, I knew once that day was done, those highs aren't going to come back in that way. So I think you've got to find other ways to get your fix. And as a coach, I can get massive highs when my fighters really perform or stuff like. Even sometimes I'm lucky enough to do a bit of punditry and a bit of speaking about fights, and sometimes I'm speaking about big fights sat ringside, and I think, I'm thankful I get a massive high off that, thinking so I'm still around it all the time, but I'm just not taking the blows.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
100%.
So I'm a big believer in you've got to have like a plan for after it to still keep those highs, because for instance, if I was going to some kind of work after boxing that didn't involve any of that, that's when I think a lot of the times, that's when I think people, they chase those highs in other ways, don't they? Yeah. I don't know if I've answered the question right there, or sorry, I like stop it, but I think that's what you've got to accept, like certain types of highs, you only get on certain things, but you can't, once they're gone, you can't chase them. You've got to find another way to get that high. Does that make sense?
110%. Yeah. One thing I don't think you should ever have to worry about. Obviously, you will never know this. You have no idea how much you're loved in Manchester.
No.
So you got to think now how many years I've known you.
Yeah.
Do you know how many conversations I've had with people when they mention your name, bro, and they light up? So I think one thing that I think you should always do, bro, is your legacy, your name is so solid and so powerful in Manchester. Not powerful as in an ego. There's a lot of knobheads. There's a lot of pricks in sport. There's a lot of people you can't walk up and you know what happened yesterday, God rest Ricky Hatton. And one of my first ever memories of Ricky Hatton, I remember I was young, and I know Ricky's a massive part of your life, and I know he's broke your heart, but I remember the first time I met Ricky, and the reason why I'm mentioning Ricky is because you remind me similar, where you can't, class and good human is something that will always shine. and in boxing and professional sport, you get people that try and disguise the shit people, the horrible people. They're not nice, and they disguise it, and eventually it will always come through. And I remember I was young and I was out somewhere and I was like, this weekend. And I'm thinking, let me go. This is why now I never, ever, no matter where I am, if somebody wants a picture or wants to come and talk to me, I'm always going to say yeah. And I remember thinking, I was nervous to go up to Ricky Hatton. I was like, this Ricky Hatton. And I went over to him and he just, he was speaking to me like me and Anthony speaking now, like he knows me. And I just thought, he's not Ricky Hatton, this global superstar. It's Ricky Hatton from Manchester speaking to another young man. And it made me feel great. And I think with you've got that about you where anytime I've never heard in my life, Ant, one person say a bad word about you.
No, that means a lot. That I always do think though, if anyone does ask for a picture and stuff, I remember like my mates would go, we'd be out and certainly like sort of at the peak of it, a lot of people had come over and a few of my mates go, you not do your head in, and I say me, I always remember one of my mates saying, who'd hit those heights, listen, very soon it'll be someone else's turn, so never turn it down. And I thought it was a great bit of advice because everyone has, like, you can always, like you say, you think your legacy lives on, doesn't it? But it goes through like cycles where someone else will come around, but that's why you should always give people the time. And I think if they come up to you and ask for a picture, and a lot of the time someone goes, I was at this fight or I was at that fight. And every time I'll always say, and I genuinely mean it, you know what, I really appreciate you spending your money to come and watch me. And I said, it means a lot, genuinely, and a lot of the times I'll be out and someone will just say, I was at this fight of yours, and they might get the phones out, the memory, and I go, because obviously I don't see that. And obviously I'm just like, I can't tell you how much. I said, honestly, that I'll be forever in debt to those people. Definitely. Be forever in debt to those people.
And I think with your level of success that you've had, we all need help, man. Every one of us, whether it's music, fitness, boxing, sport. And one of my memories of that changed my life, right, is I remember being young, right, and the question I'm going to ask you is, champions, people that have helped you in a way that is unexplainable, man, that you can't ever pay back. I remember being young, and do you remember Abram Moss?
Of course, yeah.
So Abram Moss used to have a little gym in Abram Moss. Oh, it was horrible little gym, but they had the five-a-side football on the outside, and sometimes you'd kick the football and it'd go into the gym. But I remember being outside the gym and I'm in there, just outside looking in, seeing people work out, and I'm like, I want to go in there and what's he doing? And I'm watching. And I used to be knocking on the window, and I used to be like, let me in. Nobody would let me in. Nobody would let me in this gym. Right? Nobody. And I remember literally sometimes being in tears going, I don't want to go and cause trouble. I just want to go in and feel the weights and jump on that treadmill and see if I can work it. I remember looking at one geezer on a cross trainer, and I thought, I just want to give it a go. Yeah. I'm knocking on the window. I'm like, let me in. Won't have it. And then he's a very good friend of mine now called John Kelly. Yeah. Never, ever, ever, ever forget what he done. He was doing a session upstairs in Abram Moss, like a gym session, and I'm outside. And I thought, I'm not going to ask him, because every time I ask somebody, can I just watch?
They knock you back.
Nobody would ever. Yeah. So I'm just there watching. He's gone, yo, what's up? And I've gone, no, I'm just watching. And he's gone, watching? So come in and get involved, our kid. Yeah. And he brought me in. It was the first time ever. And me and him, he's one of my best friends now. Yeah. Me and John have been together for many years. And I said to him, I'll never, ever repay you for that there, because you're the first person who went, do you know what? Instead of watching, come and get involved. Nah. So in your career, in that boxing community, I bet you've had a few situations where you've had somebody just say or do something that you never remember, that you never forget, sorry. It's a good question, isn't it?
There'd be a few. I think. Yeah, it is a good question. I mean, it goes right back to sort of my amateur coach, Jimmy Lewis, God bless him.
Who made you believe in yourself? That's what I mean. So them amateur coaches, there must have been a point.
Yeah, they was a huge part of it. And say I'd be waiting outside on and if I wasn't getting the bus, he'd pick me up and stuff. And then he'd take me to the train, and he gave so many years as a volunteer as well. Do you know what I mean? So that was like a massive inspiration, a massive sort of And that's it. When I won was that, I think there's people like that, and I think I sort of it's paying them back in a way. Do you know what I mean? For believing in me, for believing in me.
Title, which is, sorry to interrupt, I don't want to forget it. Obviously, we will never know what that feels like.
Yeah.
At that moment, man, is there one person that you really want to thank straight away, or was it just everybody that's helped you?
It was a few, but my parents, like my mum and my dad. You know, I'll never cry poverty, but I know how hard they worked.
Yeah,
I know how hard they worked to give us like a good life. Like I say, do you know, they take us away every year. But listen, my dad's he was a postman. My mum, she works at a supermarket, so they're not the two best paid jobs in the world, but they'd work hard, they'd do extra hours to make sure my brothers could go to, I could get to training and stuff like that. They could give me money for training or buy me new equipment if needed. So yeah, probably them. Yeah, probably them. And it's but yeah, that's my parents, like say, not everyone's lucky enough to have that relationship with their parents. Well, I'll be forever thankful for everything they've ever done. But
my dad, bro, is when it comes to parents, I'm at the age where I can genuinely say, no offense to any other dads.
Yeah.
My dad's the greatest man. My dad is the caliber of man that I will never be like. I will strive. He's the example that all the males in my family strive to be like my dad.
That's amazing. And I think if you so you're a dad. You've got two sons. So by the sounds of it, your dad's your hero. Your dad is your hero. I've got boy, Pan's got a little lad, got one on the way. If my little lad says my dad's my hero, that mean more to me than anything. It'll mean more to me than anything because
100%.
You I don't know, you strive like someone like that who you look up to and you're saying your dad's the greatest dad. And so listen, some of your mate who they've got a great relationship with their father who's been a great father. No, my dad is, but that's cool. I think for you to say that, I think it's amazing. And obviously I'm not sure your dad, but if your dad heard that, I think he'd think, no, I've done something right there.
Because you triggered me when you said about your parents, because what people don't understand is young athletes, right? Yo, I can tell you the stuff that my dad had to do. Any major award that I've ever won is at my mum and dad's house, Blakely. But I'll show you an example. It would have been similar for you as well, where when I played cricket, so it was a wealthy sport, man. It wasn't a sport where, so when we started getting to like international level and elite level, there's times where we had games all over the country, and the other kids that I was playing with, whose mum and dads had a bit of till, could take the day off work,
I can believe it.
Could take the day off work and be there for 2 days. I'll never forget this game in Birmingham, and this sums up my dad. He did this hundreds of times. Got picked to play for a big game in Worcestershire. We had to be there at 8:30 in Worcester.
Yeah.
My dad went, "You're playing, it's a big game, massive opportunity, you're playing." So all the other kids that we were playing with, mums and dads took days off.
Stopped overnight, night for a hotel.
My dad couldn't afford it. My dad works in the hospital in town. Yeah. So this is what my dad did, and he did this multiple times. I'll never forget, and this is why I'll try my best now to always give my kids as much as I can, where my dad would drive, me and my dad would leave at 5 o'clock in the morning, or 4:30, drive to Worcester. He'd drop me off at the club at 7 o'clock.
So drive back.
We're not meeting until 9 o'clock.
Brilliant.
Because you have to drive back 2 hours to get to work for 9. So by the time all the kids got there at 9 o'clock, I've been there for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But then when the game finished, I would drive back 2 hours.
I think it's amazing.
But then what it made me do was it improved my work ethic. So when the game is finished, everyone had gone home and I'm waiting for my dad.
Yeah.
I'd just be doing press-ups.
Yeah.
I'd be doing little jogs. I'd be doing bits. I'd be getting the cricket ball.
Your dad installed that into you.
Installed it into me. And I thought, oh my God, you look at some kids now who have not been blessed with the kind of parents that would bend over backwards for them. And I think anytime you get an athlete who reaches that level of success, that usually comes from a parenting situation that you can only ever be so grateful for.
At the time, I imagine as well, when you was young, you probably wasn't as grateful for us as you think. I don't know if you was or you wasn't, but like my dad there, he'd be a bit tough at times where he was never one of those parents, those pushy parents, I want you boxing, I want this. But I remember there's times where he probably could have dropped me at the gym and he was like, no, I get the bus. And I think it was to see how much I wanted to get there. Do you know what I mean? I think it was to see how much I wanted it and to believe in, like, you know, get the bus into town. Like sometimes I get too, and I think there's probably a little test to see, you know, is he serious about this? Is he, do you know, or does he just like the backpatting and stuff off people because he's doing that? Do you know, like when you're young, and then they like, when I look back now, I wouldn't change him. But at the time, I'll be honest with you, I'd think, Dad, why are you not taking it? Why are you not? Do you know what I mean? But maybe that was his where I think you need to take some credit for that as well. Like your dad getting you, that's amazing to go work to come back. But there's many other kids who might have turned to the dad and gone, Dad, because it must have been hard for you at times, shattered where, and emotionally you're growing up, you're still maturing at that age as well, aren't you? And for you to think, no, you know what, I am willing to get there. I'm willing to work that bit harder once we're finished. So obviously, I think you need a pat on the back for that as well. Yeah, man. It was hard, and I think I'm at the age where we're at the age. Yeah. I'm talking like you're younger than me with the same age, I'm sure. Are you 40 yet? No, no. Next year. I'm 39 in November, so I'm still 38 technically. 40 in Jan, man. It's rubbish. Yeah, it's rubbish. You've got to stay young. You've got to stay young, haven't you? But I'm at the point where I look at legacy and what I want to be represented, how I want to be represented, if anything was to ever happen. And like things like Ricky passing makes me look at things even more. Look how many lives this man touched. Yeah. Look how many people, look how many doors this man opened for so many people in not just Manchester, in the UK. Yeah. The following, the charisma, what he's done for this country and what he's done for the sport of boxing is amazing. And I look back and I go, I'm praying to God that the work that I'm doing now is building a legacy that my mum and my dad and my wife and my kids can be proud of. Your legacy is cemented in Manchester from other people. What would you want your legacy? What do you want your legacy to be? Not the description of the fans of Anthony Crolla or the fans of boxing. You as a man. Just, do you know, probably, do you know what? Just a man who never give up. A man who never give up. I always say I say it to my little lad now, like he plays football or whatever. It's just, you can't always play your best. What you can do, you can always give 100%. Yeah. So I'd like to think I was, you would never give up, or like always give 100%. 110%. Always, 110%. Like you can never. And if that, we said it earlier, I can walk away. Like say I've come up short in fights, but I ticked every box in camp, and it made that loss. Listen, it's never nice. I don't think it should be nice, but it made it that little bit easier. Thinking, you know what, I give everything. Yeah. So I think if you give everything to your chosen sport, your job, life, then you know what I mean. You won't go too far wrong. 100%, bro. The last thing that I want to ask you, bro, before you go, and this is why I wanted to chat to you, man, because I said I only want to chat to people that I genuinely care about, and I know the conversation will just be honest and real, because I think that's what the world needs. I'm going to ask you a question, right? It's a question that I ask all of my disabled and disadvantaged clients, but now I've started asking everybody, and it does baffle people. Yeah. Anthony, $1 Million Crolla, tell me 3 things that you like about yourself. Oh, wow. You see, he gets everybody. Yeah. He gets everyone. Wow. Do you know what? Straight away, now I'm thinking, is the 3 things that I like about myself? I can name you 10 things. And it's not even just trying to throw the humble card. I've probably said about something, I like this about you, I like this about you. You know, you asked me 3 things about you or that, but okay. I'm hardworking. Mm-hmm. I'm hardworking. One only always like knew about it, but I realized it even more lately. My family will always, I'll always try and do everything for the family. I can't say, family always come first. Like sometimes there's times where I'd want to be home with my family, but I'm having a word, but I'm doing it for them. So family. And third, I'll always give someone my time. If someone takes their time to come over or whatever, whether it's boxing related or not, I'll always try my very best to be respectful and give them the time. Yeah. Always. To this day, my mum wouldn't allow it any other way. Yeah. And I mean that, 100%. But before I wrap up, I'm going to tell people what sums up Anthony Crolla. Yeah?
this is true story. I don't know if you remember this. So when my little boy's 10 going on 11. So when he was a baby in his pram, my wife's walking down Vicky Ave.
Do you remember this? It was it was on Vicky Ave, wasn't it?
Walking down on Vicky Ave. And Mason's a baby in his pram and he must have dropped his shoe or his welly. Laura's not known. Crolla has seen the shoe, picked it up, and then like this is a long road called Vicky Ave. 10 minutes up the road, he's pulled up and give Laura the shoe because he clocked on that someone's dropped a shoe.
Yeah, I didn't realise it was Laura. He didn't do it
because it's my missus. He just doing it because he's seen a shoe or welly and seen a lady pushing a pram and realised.
Yeah.
And that sums up Anthony Crolla and my brother.
No, I appreciate it. I did forget about that, but I remember it now. I remember
bro.
It, yeah.
I'll never forget that. And I think, bro, like I said at the start, thank you for coming, but thank you for being Anthony Crolla and thank you for being...
Thank you for having us. I mean it. Thank you for having us. Thank you very much for having us.
You, bro.
No, thank you.